early in the morning, heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say.
I'm ready to roll, baby.
Now listen here, Dutch. Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! Here we go, 302BIRDS, you know stinks. Go Birds!
Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024-2025 Philadelphia Eagles are world champions.
Woo!
Man, that feels great to say. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 302BIRDS podcast. Don't worry, KJ's on the way. He's going to be joining us here in a second. The dedicated fan he is. He was actually supporting the Hawks. He was at the SJU Hawks game. He's on his way back now. He'll be here. He said he wouldn't miss this podcast for the world. But what a moment. What a time. Just can't believe we're here. And I wanted to start the show by actually just showing what it was like on Broad Street because we've only ever had this feeling once. So I just figured as one of our call-ins, we can show this real quick. Eagles are world champions. As you guys can see, it's pandemonium on Broad Street right now. What a moment. Losing Super Bowl 57 to Patrick Mahomes, and 59 is ours. You can never take that away from us. Jalen Hurts has now won a Super Bowl. In your mind, is Jalen Hurts better than Nick Foles in Eagles history?
Yeah.
I would probably agree at this point.
I don't know. Jalen Hurts did a great job, but Nick Foles took us home like last time, so I don't know what to say.
Tom Brady lost to a backup fucking quarterback! Nick Foles forever!
I love Nick Foles, but Jalen fucking Hurts, that's my quarterback.
He has to be. Did you see him tonight? Yeah. That man is a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Are you serious? 40 and 14? Are you fucking serious?
Exactly.
Fucking GOAT.
Of all time.
Of course, yes. He's got to be.
Best of all time.
How
I love Nick Foles. Gotta love him.
Hey, I'm glad you said that. How are you ladies feeling? World champions, fresh off the field.
Fuck yeah! Oh, go Birds! I'm feeling amazing! You're really fucking insane right now, Bird.
This is the best day of my life!
Did you guys expect it to be this much of like a can of whoop ass or?
Can of whoop ass?
It was a can of whoop
Let's go! Birds by 100! Go Birds, dickhead!
Yo, did you expect this upset? Did you expect it?
All fucking days, you stupid as you dumb! Birds by 100! Let's go!
But did you guys expect it to be this much of an upset?
Yes!
Fucking
Our
sucks.
team has done so good this season. I
work.
knew this would happen, and that's why I put a green face in my purse.
Look at that.
Let's go.
Do you see us right now?
You guys are the most dedicated people out here, and there's a lot of people out here. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go, Birds.
I'm coming all the way from Germany. I'm here right now.
Germany?
Yes.
Let's go.
Woo!
You cannot beat these fans.
Yeah. Go
E-A-D-L-E-S. Eagles! Let's go, bro. We world champs. We world champs, y'all. Y'all enjoy your night. Let's go. Best day ever. Wow. It was literally the best day of my life. I'm not exaggerating. It might have been. I don't know, Josh. Was it the best day of your life?
It's up there. I feel like my nephew being born is probably gonna be up there too. Yeah.
It's a safe, politically correct answer. Good job.
It was. I was talking to Jack. It was different than like 2018. Like you're on the edge of your seat. Like you're real clenched up the whole game. Like not knowing what's gonna happen. Like it's back and forth. It's like a boxing match. I didn't feel comfortable in this game, so I think the score was like 37-6. Like Patrick, like he scored the first touchdown, and then Jake Elliott scored like the second to last field goal. I think it was 37-6. That was like really when I was like, all right, like this game's over. Like the whole time I was like at halftime I was like 24-0 would be horrible if the Chiefs came back. Like it'd be worse than 28-3, like all this stuff. But I think I feel like in the back of my mind, I always knew they were going to win this one. Like in 2017, I knew they were going to win this one. I knew they were going to win. I just I didn't think it would ever be like that. I did not. I thought it was going to come down to the wire. But it didn't. It was awesome.
Josh, you did not think that way at all. That's the biggest lie you ever said.
Yeah, pretty much.
Josh was freaking out. He like 2 nights before, he's like, oh, I'm ready to run through a brick wall. I can't sleep. Oh, my God, this is crazy. Like, I'm so nervous. It's like, dude, relax. And he's like, no, I can't. I can't relax. So now you just lied on live.
Like when you study for a test, like all week, like you just grind, and then like the test is like real easy. It's kind of what it felt like, which was great. You know what? Yeah. I can use a chill Super Bowl with the Eagles in it for once.
Just like you throughout all college? Oh, I have to study. I'm too smart. I don't have to study.
Yeah, I graduated with like a 2.8. I was like not smart at all. Those college tests were hard.
Engineer right here. 2.8.
Birds fan. Super Bowl champ right here is what he means.
Super Bowl champ. Goddamn right. I love that.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, good game. Great season. Great season. I mean, they only lost. They did not lose a game that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown started and finished all season. That's a fact. They lose to the Falcons. A.J. Brown doesn't play. They lose to the Bucks. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson don't play. They lose to the Commanders. Jalen Hurts gets hurt like 7 minutes into that game. Best team ever.
Fuck Kermit. I love that. I'm with that.
Yeah.
I know we're going to get to Ashley here in a second too, but I just want to get to our season finale of call-ins. Amir actually sent us a video, so he's not here live, but he did send us a reaction and something that we can react to.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking you how your day is. But their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302 Birds sent you. God bless, go Birds.
God bless, go Birds. Let's see what Amir's got to say.
Flag and play. Eagles are your Super Bowl champions. It's a crazy feeling, all right? It's a great feeling to have the city of Philadelphia get another Super Bowl victory. Second in franchise history. Last time we beat the Patriots. This time we didn't really beat the Chiefs. We demolished the Chiefs, all right? We did not beat them. We put belt to ass, okay? The Eagles played phenomenal. The Chiefs did not play phenomenal. Chiefs played like a JV squad, like your local high school squad. The Eagles played like one of the best teams I've ever seen. This defense is one of the best of all time. Mark my words, done deal. Okay, the D-line should have got Super Bowl MVP. They played lights out. We didn't blitz once, and we still had, 6 sacks? And the defense caused 3 turnovers with a strip sack from behind. Okay, phenomenal game. I'll be at the parade Friday. I'll see you there. Amir, 302 Birds on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Go Birds!
Philly fans are feeling it, as you guys can see. The fever is here. And I mean, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Ashley, how was your household? Have there been any post Super Bowl pranks?
There have not been any post Super Bowl pranks. Our Chiefs neighbors were incredibly gracious the last time when we lost, so we have kind of repaid that and been nice to them. We did have some parading around our with Swoop and Swoop's entourage of people. We were up by 7 a.m., which, considering we had people from all over the country joining us, that was quite the feat to get everybody up, but there was no forcing anybody awake. We were revved and ready. I have to say, the series where we sacked Patrick Mahomes back to back and then ended with the Cooper DeJean pick six was probably my favorite series I have ever watched. As an Eagles fan, my dad did call this about a week and a half ago. He said my score prediction is 42-21. He was pretty dang close.
Wow.
Granted, I truly feel like the score of the Super Bowl really was 40-6. We just gave up that prevent defense because we started putting guys in who may never have the chance to play in a Super Bowl. And for me, that was a super, super cool moment. And I mean, my biggest fears coming into this game were, if Saquon gets shut down, what are we going to do? We did not need to worry about that. Jalen proved that he can still throw that dang ball down the field like it's nothing. So it was my favorite game that I've ever watched as an Eagles fan, mostly because it was relatively low stress. I still was stressed until about 5 minutes left when I was like, okay, mathematically, it's really, really difficult to blow this at this point. But it was such a fun game.
Jack, Josh, I mean, I got a couple FaceTime calls from your household. There definitely wasn't any alcohol drank there or anything like that, right?
Never.
We were actually relatively sober until the game ended.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a big win. I mean, when we knew that we won this game was probably, I would say, after Cooper DeJean's pick six, I just knew the game was, game, set, match. And then after the Chiefs come in at halftime, with that first drive, didn't really do much. I just knew that this game is ours, and that's how confident I was in this team. And I've been confident in this whole team all season long. We've said it, we've spoken in existence that this team is probably the best team. It was the best team on paper. And then the whole character arc of Jalen Hurts, this is his revenge tour. We lost by a shitty call back 2 years ago, and then Jalen Hurts kind of denouncing all the haters and proving him that he is a legit quarterback and that he's not a system quarterback. And just seeing him kind of blossom the way he did this season, especially in the playoffs, that just really kind of spoke to me a lot. And not to mention, like, Brandon Graham, getting injured and then coming back for the Super Bowl. And we know this is going to be Brandon Graham's last season. So I just knew that he would try anything on the sideline, pre-game, in practice, walk through to get his players better. And, Josh and I were talking about tonight, like, Bradbury, he didn't really do much this season, didn't really complain much at all, but he really helped the young guys within, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean kind of blossom to what they turned out to be, this season. So all credit goes to the locker room, and, Nick Sirianni is a legit coach, and I've been telling you guys that for years now. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I think like, and I was a victim of this too. If you asked anybody to look at matchups, though, like, it was all, the Eagles match up way better, but the Chiefs have, like, Patrick Mahomes and Black Magic. I mean, that was really all the analysis, like, the last 2 weeks. Like, nobody was like, oh, watch out, the Chiefs offensive line is really going to get after it, or the Chiefs linebackers are really good at blitzing. It was just the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Black Magic. So,
and the refs, which they
and the refs, which that was dicey for the first drive, and then it kind of silenced itself. Thank God. So,
Did you mention Taylor Swift too? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what she done. They were successful before Taylor Swift showed up.
And they still did it. The Eagles still did it because they had people like Josh and Jack screaming at the TV, me screaming at the TV, Ash screaming at the TV, Matt Coy screaming at the TV. Mac, how you feeling?
Oh my God. I think we are all on cloud nine. It's still like processing, but I think every day goes by that I start feeling like, holy crap, this is real. Like, I mean, it's insane. I was also there on Broad Street. It was freaking madness. I witnessed a bunch of crazy things. I don't condone the crazy things that I saw. I don't at all. But I mean, some of you people out there doing that kind of stuff, you guys are lunatics. And I mean, you guys make us look horrible as real legit Eagles fans. So thanks a lot for making this stupid stereotype that people keep on asking me, KJ, control your fans. I don't own them. What are you talking about? So it's like, it's annoying.
Get
But
boys, damn it.
What's up?
Get your boys, damn it. That's what I'm saying.
I
Get
know,
all your
that's what-
Eagles
yeah.
fans, damn it.
Yeah,
Keep them in
so-
line, would you?
But you know what? It was awesome just to see though what I saw. Like, I mean, for the most part though, it was a lot of happiness, and I mean, a lot of relief from the real Eagles fans. You could really know the difference from the real fans to the casuals that showed up at this celebration. But I mean, I watched a game at a good friend of mine's place, and it was really cool. It was just insane to just see the plays just transpire. I mean, to see our defense just have pure domination against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, to honestly go out there and stop a guy like Patrick Mahomes, it was awesome. And I know that people are saying like, oh, well, they were kind of coming back at the end. We put in a bunch of our scrubs in at the end. We put a bunch of our backup players in. I think that guy, even McGowan, came in. So, I mean, he's a guy who blew some coverage against the Commanders in the loss we had in the regular season. So, I mean, I think it's just it was just so awesome to watch, and I think it was such a great game in general. And I mean, it's great to actually not be in like a close game where you're like biting your nails constantly. It's a nail biter, and it was just great to like have the lead like most of the game. I mean, it was awesome. So, I mean, it was great to see Jalen just prove people wrong. And I mean, you still got some people who are still in denial and they're saying that Jalen is still a fraud. And I mean, honestly, if you're saying that, you're a fraud. You are honestly a fraud. The guy has a Super Bowl championship and you have nothing. You are just complaining and you're a hater and you're probably a Dallas Cowboys fan. So just shut up, please. So that's the thing.
It's funny because you tell them to quiet down about Jalen Hurts. You know who they should also quiet down about?
Yeah.
Jake Elliott, man.
Yeah, Jake, man. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard this, but apparently, I don't know what it exactly was injury-wise, but Jake Elliott was apparently playing with an injury all season.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard that or not. But
I
he's
did.
playing with
It makes sense.
What's up?
It totally makes sense. Like
No, wait, what was Zepp saying though? I heard him say something. I didn't know.
I would say that too at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
You guys are totally hurt all season. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a little CYA. At the
Yeah.
end
What were you saying, Ash? Sorry about that.
No, I mean, he's now the most accurate kicker in Super Bowl history, which when you look at his season this season, you would never have believed that. I had told my neighbors, I said, if the reason we lose this game, I'm pretty sure if we lose this game, it very well could be because of Jake Elliott and the kicking. And he was on fire. So as an Eagles fan, that was, I mean, I think most people in the NFL, if they did not watch his season, they would not have thought anything of it because, again, Jake Elliott is widely known in the league of being pretty dang consistent. But it was great to see him have a career game on Sunday.
That's like when you show up to the pregame and you get a little drunk and you can't go to the party, and the next day you're like, oh, I feel that pregame feeling sick. Like, I was really battling through some stomach bugs while I was drinking.
Did that happen to you a lot, Zepp, sometimes back in the days?
No.
All the time.
Never.
All the time.
I'm a Super Bowl champ. Two times now.
Two-time.
And I want to just say real quick, I wanted to just address this comment. We got a comment here from Laura earlier. Are you guys going to the parade on Friday? Yes, we will be at the parade on Friday. KJ and I will be walking around. I don't know exactly where yet. We will announce it on our Instagram. So if you guys want to meet us, get interviewed, anything, we'll put it on our Instagram. So follow us at 302birds if you want to see that. But as far as like going around, it's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. I already had like 15 people be like, what the hell, man? You're not meeting up with me? Like, it's very difficult to go from one place to another at this parade. If you weren't at the last parade, it is going to be chaos. Shout out to Drew Likens, Greenface, if you guys don't know him. He made a little survival guide for how to survive the parade, and it's perfect. It says, like, don't drink a lot because you're basically going to need to go to the bathroom. When you get to the front, plan on not going to the bathroom because it's not going to be able to get back. Like, it's just little packed sandwiches, packed snacks because you're going to get hungry, all things like that. So this parade on Friday is going to be absolute pandemonium. Everybody's coming in for it. It's going to be chaos. You got people coming, not just all over America, guys, all over the world for this parade. That's how beloved the Philadelphia Eagles are. So I expect it to be a very, very big event. Somebody I did not expect to have a quieter game was Saquon Barkley. I would have thought he would have done a little bit more, but what I will say kicking it off is I loved his attitude. When you see him after the game, he was ecstatic. He was just thrilled to be a Super Bowl champion. It didn't matter that he averaged 2.3 yards per carry, 25 attempts, 57 yards. So the Eagles gave him the ball. I just think that Spagnuolo was like, hey, I will die by the run. Like, if you want to beat me with the pass, so be it. If I get beat by Jalen Hurts because he throws a great game, whatever. I'd rather lose because taking a gamble on that than just knowing I'm going to die by Saquon Barkley going off for 100+ yards with everyone. So I love his attitude. Like, there's no drama with this team. That's why I really think that because Saquon just handled it so well, he was all smiles, just happy to be a champion. Something that the New York Giants could have never given him is why I think that this team could start to become a dynasty. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it could happen. You never
shut
know.
down. I mean, what were your thoughts on it, KJ? He's your boy, Penn State
Yeah.
fan.
It was surprising, and I think the Chiefs defense was really trying to lock in on Saquon. I think they really did a pretty decent job containing him for the most part. But I mean, it seemed like in general, though, we weren't really using Saquon. We weren't involving him that much as we wanted to. But I mean, he had a really nice grab, actually. It almost was a touchdown, but he was a little bit short. So that was a really great concentration grab. I don't know if you guys remember that one or not, but it was it was kind of disappointing to see that he didn't get a touchdown in this game. I really thought that he would be the Super Bowl MVP. I kind of wanted him to be a Super Bowl MVP. But you know what, though? If there's another guy that I would want to get that trophy, it's probably Jalen Hurts for sure. Because the guy has worked his butt off. And I mean, he gets all this disrespect, as we were talking about before, and he shouldn't get any more disrespect. And I will fight for that guy, like I've been doing for so many years. I mean, since day one he's been here, I've been a Jalen Hurts supporter. I had a Jalen Hurts #2 jersey. That's how much of a supporter I was of him. So, I mean, that's a crazy thing. But I think, with Saquon, I think he's such a team he's such a team guy. I mean, we've kind of noticed that in the season. I mean, him kind of saying, you know what, let the young bucks get some yardage. I don't think he really cared about not scoring a touchdown this game. I mean, the guy has the most career rushing yards in NFL, was it like in playoff history or something, with, I think, regular season as well. So, I mean, he's beating records. And I think, you know what, though, he is honestly stamping his stamp, I guess, or his, I guess you could say that, like in the future for being a Hall of Famer, for sure. I think so. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But look at that trophy. Wait, look at that trophy. Oh, man. I missed that thing. I have missed that trophy. We all have. I'm gonna blow it an air kiss. We love you. We love you. We miss you. Oh man. Oh.
From Bird's Nest Media, Joe Donahue. Welcome to the show. How are you? Super Bowl champion Joe Donahue. How you feeling, brother?
I'm doing fine, Dalton. Super Bowl champion Dalton and KJ and all 302 Birds.
World champs, man.
We're world champs once again, and it feels really, really good to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, I mean, what were some of your thoughts on Saquon Barkley, his attitude, and just the whole game?
Yeah, I would say I agreed with a lot of I agreed, KJ, with what you said. I agreed with a lot of the insights that were going on, even in the lead up. There was a lot of expectation that Saquon Barkley was going to have a tear and really show the New York Giants why he was why it was a mistake to let him go, and why show the rest of the league why he's going to be a really dangerous threat. One of the things, though, that I don't think that we really accounted for is the fact that over the course of the regular season, Kansas City was actually a top 10 run defense in the league. So that's something that really came out over the course of the Super Bowl, was that they were able to contain him. Saquon's 57 yards were the lowest since Cleveland since the Cleveland game in week 5. And his yards per carry of 2.3, that was actually the lowest all season. So there was definitely a lot of, Saquon was isolated out of the game, and props to Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni for two things. One, they didn't abandon the run. 25 carries is on par with the other, not with Washington. It's actually more than he got it against Washington, but it's on par with the rest of the postseason, and it's on par with his average over the course of the regular season in terms of how many carries he got. So they stuck with the run even in the face of adversity, which is more than we could say under a number of other coaches that have been at the helm of the Philadelphia Eagles, notably Andy Reid. So we had that going on, and then also mad props to them for adapting. Even with the run game being pretty much limited over the course of the game, the Eagles still had 36 minutes and 58 seconds of time of possession. So they beat the Chiefs in the time of possession battle by more than 10 minutes. And they actually led to an interesting stat. I saw this. The Eagles have had the time of possession. This is according to the NFL, all postseason. Their time of possession stats were 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 56 seconds across all 4 of the Eagles' postseason games. The Eagles spent trailing 3 minutes and 33 seconds. That's excluding any time where they were tied. But 3 minutes and 33 seconds, the Eagles were playing from behind. And the Eagles really capitalized on just being able to get out to a fast start. They capitalized on being able to score points in the first quarter, which they spent a lot of time over the season struggling with. They spent a lot of time, or the Eagles were able to get out to that fast start that everybody was hoping for. It didn't have to come at the hands of Saquon Barkley. It came at the hands of Jalen Hurts. It came at the hands of the passing game. It came at the hands of those key decisions that really helped propel the Eagles to take advantage of where Kansas City was showing significant weak spots.
What game was it that they were trailing? Was it the Rams game? I'm trying to look now because I just want to know for my own sake.
So they trailed a little bit. They trailed a little bit in both the Rams and the Commanders game. The Commanders game, they were behind by about 18 seconds. So it was really the Rams game where they played with any significant chunk of time, but with from behind. But Green Bay Packers, the Eagles got out to an early lead and never let go. And obviously on Sunday, the Eagles got out to an early lead and never let go.
Yeah, and the best game that they could have too. What was like just as a whole for you being able to watch that game as a lifelong fan, somebody now that's covered the team too? Like, it's a different perspective, like you said, when you're on the other side. And I totally resonated with that when you said that. What was this one like for you, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a new lens. Doing this kind of stuff really gives you a new lens to look through and see just how the season is progressing. Because I mean, you as a fan, and as a fan, it was really important to see that. But being now in this space that we have here of sports content creation, right? We look at the game very differently, so we can see the progression of the team from the beginning to the end, and we can see the story of the team and the season playing out. I will say that in that regard, I didn't feel all that nervous going into this game. There was a real sense of calm, which was really eerie for me. Now, once the game kicked off and as we got into like the 2 hours, then okay, now nerves are coming in. But in the week leading up to the game, I wasn't feeling all that concerned because I felt like the Eagles had this in the bag. Now, it was definitely a challenge, and mad props to the Kansas City Chiefs for being able to get to this point 3 seasons in a row, and to be able to get to the Super Bowl having lost just one game over the course of the regular season. It's really difficult, and the NFL intentionally makes it really difficult to do that. But at the same time, I didn't feel like there was any concern. Whereas going into Super Bowl 52, I was definitely very nervous, and they were very different games to watch. And this one, the one that happened yesterday, or the one that happened on Sunday, almost legitimizes both of the Super Bowls that we have, because now it's not like, okay, now it's not a fluke. We're a really good team. We don't just have one of these now. We have 2 Super Bowls. And now we're a formidable team in NFL history. So yeah. This influenced the fandom. There was definitely all that emotion, but I was also able to look at it from that perspective as well.
Yeah, to that point about, how it was kind of calm going into this game on Sunday, I think that the reason why, me personally, and I guess you, is we felt that way because we knew, 1, how good this team was, and 2, we've already done this before, and that was against the Patriots. So, and no one else has ever had a, 3 Super Bowl winning, streak at all. So I think that's kind of another reason why we saw that, this being so calm to us, because we've done it before, and if it wasn't meant to be, it wouldn't be there. So definitely agree with you there. And, talking back on Saquon is like, yeah, he did a lot throughout the season and throughout this game. And he, this wasn't his night. He wasn't the Super Bowl MVP. But I think truly, and I think this was his season MVP, because he's done some crazy things that no other Eagles running back has done. And that really kind of speaks a lot of volume to me about Saquon.
And let's also point out to that too is Saquon did set the record for most rushing yards in a single season, including the postseason. So he wasn't able to get the regular season only record, but he nabbed that the single season record, including the postseason, which in my opinion is an even more important record, an even more impressive record. And it wasn't his night to perform on the field, but he did what he had to do. And he was a threat to the Chiefs because they directed a lot of their attention to him.
Yeah, it's a durability record. It just goes to show his durability and how the Eagles really preserved him well throughout the year. This offensive line preserved him well. I know we got to get to our next topic here real quick, but Joe, I want to give you a chance to let everybody know where they can give you a follow as well.
Absolutely. So Bird's Nest Media on YouTube is where I post most of my content. I also plan to be at the parade, so I'd love to meet you guys and get you guys on camera and get some interviews. So if you can't find Dalton or others, definitely find me. I'll be around there somewhere. And then Bird's Nest Media on YouTube, as well as Instagram, TikTok. The only pretty much anywhere on the socials. The only odd one out is X, formerly Twitter. I have to use Bird's Nest FB there. But yeah, Bird's Nest Media, pretty much anywhere, especially on YouTube, because that's where most of my content goes.
Sweet. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. And hope you enjoy the rest of your Super Bowl week. And shoot me a text about the parade, because it would be cool to link up with you guys if we can. KJ and I will make the trip.
You got it. Yeah. Looking forward to it, guys. Go Birds.
Go
Birds. Go Birds.
See you, Joe.
So I know you were saying something there too at the end, Jack. What were you saying about Barkley?
I forget.
All right. Well, hey, I'll let you take this one first. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. How good does it feel to say that?
It feels amazing. We have had a lot of doubters with Jalen Hurts ever since he's been drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles. Nonstop hatred from the analysts on TV. Nonstop hatred towards the fan base of Philadelphia. And getting to the mountaintop, that being the Super Bowl, and winning the tippy top mountaintop as the Super Bowl MVP, really kind of speaks volumes to me, and really shows his work ethic and how much he worked hard for this. And I mean, you know, he was benched in the college football playoffs when he was at Alabama, and just the perseverance he's had throughout his whole career really does mean a lot to me as a person, just to see a person who, you know, is now central media or whatever, and seeing him persevere through all these, you know, shortcomings and these peaks and valleys, and him coming up top, just really goes to show and tells you about his character and how he has that grit to him that we love talking about, grit, because grit is definitely something you need in any professional sport, because if you don't have grit, especially in Philadelphia, if you don't have a background in Philadelphia, you're screwed. And that's why Ben Simmons didn't survive, because, you know, he didn't have that backbone. And seeing Jalen Hurts prove time and time again all these doubters wrong, and him winning the Super Bowl MVP, you know, shows you that he is a legit quarterback, and that he is truly, I don't know, he has a great character and a great personality and that attitude.
Yeah, it is such a great story. And I'll tell you this, and it's so relieving, as Jack was just saying as well. Me and him, and I know a bunch of other Eagles fans as well. There's a lot of us that really believed in Jalen. I mean, no matter what, there was a lot of hurdles, and I guess you could say a lot of bumps during this kind of career that he's had so far. And there's been a lot of just like obstacles he's had to overcome. Obviously, losing to the Bucks the first time in the playoffs against Brady, and then losing in the Super Bowl to Mahomes the first time. I mean, that put a chip on his shoulder. And then obviously, like the year after that, we had the collapse. So I think that really kind of molded him to kind of have this motivation to go out there this year that we just had, and just prove so many people wrong. And I'm just super extremely proud of him as an Eagles fan and as a believer and fan of him. And it's just so like satisfying to see him get the stardom that he deserves, be on the stage that he deserves to be on. And it was just such a great moment for sure. I mean, just to see him sling that rock out there, throwing it deep to Devontae, throwing it to Dallas Goedert, getting A.J. Brown involved, even getting Jahan Dotson involved. That was just so cool to just see him just silence so many people. All the haters we heard. I'm not going to call this guy by his name. I'm going to call him by the name I think he deserves, and that is Nick Wrong from Fox Sports. Nick Wrong, that is his name. That's what I call him. He was one of the analysts that always doubted Jalen Hurts. He doubted the Eagles this year. He said that we weren't going to be a playoff team. We won the freaking Super Bowl, and we beat your team, you long-haired hippie. And also the funny thing is, too, that even a former Hall of Fame quarterback of the New York Giants, his son, Phil Sims' son, Chris Sims, was the biggest Jalen Hurts hater, and we've talked about this clown before as well. Well, guess what? I think that Jalen Hurts just silenced you, and he put duct tape over your mouth that you can't even speak his name anymore. You should, when you hear his name, you should bow down to him. That's what you should do, Chris Sims, because this guy proved you so wrong. I mean, the takes that you had, especially for the mediocre NFL career you had, I mean, you were nothing like your dad. So that's the thing. But with Jalen Hurts, though, it's just so satisfying, and I'm so happy that we got to see him win a Super Bowl, and hopefully he gets some more for sure. I think with the motivation he has, he's not done. He's not done. He's not satisfied. There's no way. The kid is just a true champion, and I'm just extremely proud of him, and I will go to bat for this guy. I will always have his back for life, and that was what it was beforehand, before he won the Super Bowl. I believed in this kid. I really did. So, Jalen, congrats. I mean, we're all proud of you in Philly, and keep on doing your thing. We love you.
Yeah, I think for me, seeing him excited and happy, he is somebody that is always at like the same level. That's something that I've always observed with him is like, whether the game is going great or terribly, there is no difference in Jalen Hurts' demeanor and the kind of energy that he is giving off. For me, I know this season there had been a lot of talk of, because we had Saquon in such a strong run game, Jalen Hurts people were thinking that he was not as solid as he always has been because he wasn't needing to throw the ball. The difference between a great team and a championship team is how they adapt. Saquon was shut down. Jalen said, no problem. I'll throw it 60 yards down the field. And that for me was where I was like, this team, this Super Bowl 59, I don't think is the end. I think with Jalen, we have the potential to become that next Chiefs team. Not saying maybe we may not go for a three-peat. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. But Jalen had the night that he needed to have. I even go back to the last Super Bowl. He played a fantastic game. It was just our defense that couldn't keep us in it, ultimately, and bad play calling and bad penalties. However, Jalen was the shining light in that Super Bowl. And Jalen has continued that. And most importantly, he showed up big when we needed him most.
And I feel like it's also funny too, that people, even though they're like, oh, you know what, Jalen, go win a Super Bowl, and then you could be this elite quarterback. Well, he just did that, and I'm still seeing people doubting him, saying that it was fraudulent and all this other stuff. But you know what I say to that? You're fraudulent. So that's what I say. So, I just push it aside. But yeah, it is just, as Ash said before, it's really cool to see him just have this moment for sure.
Yeah, for me, it was so cool because I was there on Broad, and I know KJ was there on Broad too. And everybody during the day, I was asking them, I was asking everybody, like, do you think that Jalen Hurts could be Super Bowl MVP? Because I made a bet on it. But what do you think that the odds are? Because we knew the whole season, the story was Saquon. And that was why I think it was kind of cool for Jalen Hurts to have his day, is because Saquon Barkley really had his day all throughout this year. The hurdle, all the other moments, the snow game, there's so many moments that Barkley had that just make you go, wow, this guy, this is a season for the books. And Jalen Hurts had a game for the books. He led the charge. I think to somebody, he almost had 3 passing touchdowns to 3 different wideouts. If Jahan Dotson would have caught that, he would have had a passing touchdown to Devontae, AJ, and Dotson, which would have been insane. The dude was extremely... Yeah, he caught it still, which was insane.
He just was short.
But if that would have been a touchdown, that would have been one of the most insane stories, is that Jalen Hurts had 3 passing touchdowns in the Super Bowl to 3 different wide receivers, meaning you can't say shit. You can't say that Jalen Hurts relies on one receiver. You can't say that Jalen Hurts relies on coaching. Jalen Hurts relies on Jalen Hurts. Yeah. So I was really proud of him. I thought he showed up well. and transition into the next subject, I thought he established himself as the GOAT. I really think he is. I'd put him over Nick Foles now. He's got the Super Bowl. He's got the season tenure. And if he goes out and gets an MVP next year, which will be easier now for him to get because he has a Lombardi, everybody's going to look at him differently. He will definitely be the GOAT. He is in my mind. Why do you say no, Jack?
And look, I love Jalen Hurts. We were just talking about how much we love him, and he's one of our favorite quarterbacks, okay? But you got to keep in mind, Nick Foles was a backup quarterback that won us our first ever Super Bowl, and he went off that game. He went nuclear off that in that game. So, I mean, it's definitely a slippery slope for sure. But you gotta grant it, Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, lost 1. Nick Foles been to 1 Super Bowl and won that one. So, I mean, I think it is a good argument to have, but, to bring a Super Bowl, our first Super Bowl to the city, and Nick Foles in the fashion he did it, coming off the bench, having a really shitty game, was it the NFC? No, it was the week before the playoffs. The week before the playoffs, right?
Dallas.
Yeah. So he had a really shitty game, and then he bounced back. Because I was telling Josh, like, I don't know why Nick Foles. We should put in whatever. Who was the backup? The blonde dude. Number 7.
Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah, Sudfeld. We should have kept him in the game. But, I mean, him to bounce back from that and just the fashion he did it, I got to give my edge to Nick Foles.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I actually disagree with both. I don't think Nick Foles is the GOAT in, I think, the Eagles' realm of quarterbacks. Even though, I mean, yes, he did win our first Super Bowl, but I think he honestly just rode the wave of the team. I think he rode like the momentum of the team. I think he had one of the greatest one of the greatest Super Bowl performances and stat sheet from a quarterback for sure. But if you look at GOAT quarterbacks though in Eagles history, stat wise, I'm pretty sure Donovan is probably still the guy, even though yes, he did lose the Super Bowl. I will give him though with yardage, and I mean like the longevity that he played here, just all the years that he played here, and multiple NFC championships. I think I probably still put Donovan there, but I would put Jalen in front of Nick Foles because I do feel like Jalen's been able to go to 2 Super Bowls now. I don't feel like Nick Foles, if they actually went for it and they actually did what some people were saying. I don't know if you guys remember this. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl the first time, people were saying, you know what? Let's just bench Wentz and let's just let Nick Foles be the quarterback for let's let him be the franchise quarterback. I thought that would not be the right decision because I really felt like Nick Foles honestly just felt the momentum. And he just was like, you know what, though? I feel the magic. And that team was just so great. I mean, they were connected with each other. And the next year, though, it just seemed like they had, and they even talked about this too. I mean, you even heard like Orlando Scandrick, who was a clown, don't get me wrong. He came on the team and he was like, they got the Super Bowl hangover right now. They have the hangover. They're talking about what happened last year and everything like that. So I think if you think about it with Nick Foles, yes, he's probably like a top 5 Eagle of all time. Yes, he won the most important game probably in Eagles history, but I wouldn't say he's the GOAT out of all of them. And I'm not ready to say that Jalen's the GOAT yet, just because I just think that like you have Donovan, you have Randall as well. I just think those guys were very elite, but I think Jalen is really close. And I think the Super Bowl does give him some recognition for sure. I think it does give him maybe to put him in the conversation for sure. But that's what I think. I think that you gotta kind of look at it that way. But I wouldn't say Nick Foles is probably the best quarterback in Eagles history, though. I wouldn't say that.
How about I ask you this? What about the last 10 years out of those two? Who's the GOAT?
What, Nick Foles and Jalen?
Yeah, out of the last 10
Probably
years.
Jalen.
Probably
day.
Jalen,
Easy.
because I would say Jalen because Jalen's been able to go to 2 Super Bowls already. The guy was an MVP candidate. And yeah, he was elite. So Nick Foles, though, he was a guy who was on the Birds, obviously, and he had a great historical season. I remember, what was it, 2013? He had that 7 touchdown game against Oakland, the Raiders, and then I think the next year he was a starter as well. But then they traded him for Sam Bradford. So then you kind of saw where Nick Foles is going on a little bit of an NFL journey. He was in St. Louis. Then he was in Kansas City with Andy Reid. So he was Andy Reid was bringing a bunch of former Eagles over there. And then he was with I think that was the only team so far. Then he came back. We brought him back. So I think if you look at stat sheet wise, look at the more success. I think already Jalen Hurts has more success than Nick Foles. If you think about it, he's got 2 Super Bowl appearances, and he had an elite game, I feel like, in Super Bowl 57, even though we did lose. Even though he had that fumble that was costly, and we probably would have won the Super Bowl, I still think having 2 Super Bowl appearances, winning the last one and losing the first one, kind of gives him the edge over Nick Foles as a 10-year career. And Jalen Hurts hasn't even played 10 years. But I could still, even if Jalen had, say he had some crazy, horrible, he totally just crapped the bed for the next 2 to 3 years, which we pray to God that doesn't happen. And I know to God that will not happen. I still would probably say Jalen Hurts is probably the better Eagles all-time quarterback than Nick Foles.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
I like the 2-start stat.
I hope that made sense. Yeah, I hope it did.
The 2-start stat makes a lot of sense to me because you got to keep in mind, it's not like Nick Foles just has that playoff run. A lot of Eagles fans do go to that. They forget the 27-2 season. Like if Nick Foles didn't have that playoff run, a lot of Eagles fans would, I think, remember that 27-2 season more. Throwing 27 touchdowns and passing for 2 interceptions is not fucking easy. That is hell of a super efficient quarterback. Like that's locked in beyond locked in. So give credit where it's due. I do very much think that Nick Foles is a close second. You got to win a Super Bowl to be up there now. Sorry, still digesting food. But you got to be at least the Super Bowl winner. You got to be this tall to ride the ride to get up there. But it's between Nick and Jalen for me. And Jalen, because he started in 2 Super Bowls, it's clear cut. McNabb, some people could also argue. I get that. But if you don't say one of those 3, I think it's definitely the wrong answer, at least in my opinion.
Jalen, and then I would probably say some others as well.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. But anyway, bye, Kellen, bye. It kind of sucks to say this. Kellen Moore was a really solid offensive coordinator. He meshed really well with Jalen Hurts. And when somebody works well with Jalen Hurts, you get results like this year. The Eagles need to go out and find somebody that isn't going to be like another Brian fucking Johnson that is a test, that is finding his way. I want them to go out and find somebody that's like, hey, here's somebody that's a veteran. They're solid, like Frank Reich.
Frank Reich, I was about to say that. Yep.
Exactly. Made the post on Instagram, and this one's a no-brainer for me. I kind of wanted Frank Reich to come around when Brian Johnson was there. I think he was in Carolina, I guess, at the time, doing his thing. Maybe he just left at the time, but it just feels like it would be a storybook ending for him to come back to this organization. I think he's a really, honestly smart, like with quarterbacks and offenses. And I think he would just be a really good offensive mastermind. It's proven success in the NFL. So I think, like the comment just said, shout out to you, Frank won't miss a beat. I'd love for him to come back to Philadelphia. But if not Frank Reich, do you guys have any other candidates who maybe you might want to see too?
I think anyone you match up with Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's been in the league for what, five years now, 4 years.
Yeah.
He has had a different offensive coordinator or quarterback coach all 4 years. So I think anyone you match with him, make sure he meshes with Jalen Hurts, and it will be a happy marriage. I don't think. I mean, this is a good idea, Deuce Staley, but I think he hates Philadelphia, even though he was a beast here. Because when we got rid of Doug Peterson, he was kind of like, okay, I'll be the head coach, and we kind of went away from that. So I think there's that kind of inner hatred towards us, even though he spent his tenure here in Philadelphia. I think it would be a good idea, but we'll see if he wants to, because I think, if anything, he wants to become a head coach of some team. So we'll see, but I mean, time will tell. I'm not really thinking about that right now because I'm just kind of on a high right now from the Super Bowl win. When it gets closer, maybe next month or two, I'll start kind of researching. But I mean, or do we just kind of upgrade one of the coordinators to the offense coordinator, like a assistant coordinator or something like that? So I really don't know the answer. I think Frank Reich would definitely be a good fit. But we shall see what happens in the next couple months with that.
Yeah, I think Frank Wright would be perfect to have as a candidate. I think, obviously, I mean, he played a big part in this team winning the first Super Bowl for sure. And I think like these quarterbacks, even former quarterbacks that were not the best in the NFL, some of them were backups, some of them were kind of, you really didn't, maybe the third stringer sometimes as well. But I'm pretty much saying with like Kellen Moore, I mean, he wasn't the best NFL quarterback. I mean, he was with the Detroit Lions. He backed up for Matthew Stafford. I believe he backed up for the Dallas Cowboys as well with like Dak Prescott. And then he became their coordinator as well. So I think a lot of these quarterbacks that didn't have the best careers, they've seen I guess they kind of get that from like the quarterbacks that they saw in front of them. And they kind of see how successful they were, and maybe they learn from. I don't exactly know, but that's my theory. To it might be a stupid theory, but I don't know. But I think honestly, Frank Wright would be a great guy to have. I think any guy that was a former quarterback, for the most part, though, would be a good guy for this offensive coordinator position. And I agree with Jack, though. I feel like an offensive coordinator. Any offense coordinator can really work with Jalen Hurts. I think for the most part, a lot of these offense coordinators have been able to work with Jalen Hurts, and he's got along with a lot of them. So I think they'll find the right match. They want to keep Jalen Hurts happy. So I think he might have some input within. I mean, especially being the Super Bowl MVP, being the guy who he is. I think Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman will maybe look to Jalen Hurts as a leader and be like, okay, who do you exactly want? Who do you think can help you succeed and get back to this point once again and compete for another Super Bowl? So I think that's what I think will happen for the Birds. So, yeah, I think we can see a guy like Frank Wright or somebody else come into the system for sure.
Yeah, Frank, I think, would be a great fit. There's a lot of guys that I think would be a solid candidate for the Eagles, but only time will tell. The Philadelphia Eagles now can bask in the sun, bask in happiness for a week or two. And really, once you get to February 20th, about 10 days-ish, outside of I guess the combine, I think, is on the 27th or the 28th of February. It's the last weekend of February. So regardless, when you're 10 days out from that, your mind's going to be on it. So I think the next week or so, relax, recover, enjoy the parade on Friday. We're all going to enjoy it. The whole community is going to enjoy it, and rightfully so. But as soon as that deadline comes, you got a lot of tough decisions to make. Mekhi Becton, Zach Bond. I mean, I could go on and on. You guys know the names that I could list, but the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to figure a lot of these things out. But I'm very happy that this one went the way it did, because one thing that they're not going to have to figure out with the way that Jalen Hurts played is who is their quarterback, because it's clear cut. Jalen Hurts. And there's no arguing that this offseason. And anybody that is just doing it for clicks because it is evident now who is the clear-cut winner in Philadelphia, who is the best quarterback of all time in Philadelphia, and the Super Bowl champion. It makes me so happy because there's really not a guy, really two guys when you think about it. And specifically, three, you could say, with what A.J. Brown did today. That was awesome. Really being a man of his word. The whole team, I could even say, but those three guys specifically, because, they're the face of the team, the wide receiver, running back, and QB. They're the most likable guys ever. They give you no problems off the field. There's never a story about them, about, ignoring a kid for an autograph or this or that. They're just genuine dudes who are happy to be here and happy that this is their job. And to me, as a fan, as somebody who is a little piece of the media, not a very big one, but somebody who just appreciates the Eagles, that's honestly the most beautiful, rewarding thing to watch, is a player that understands that, and players that understand that, because Jalen, Saquon, AJ, Dallas, you look on defense, all the dogs, Nakobe Dean, same thing. All these guys have their own story, but they all understand the value of hard work and selflessness. And that's why they got to where they got. So I really hope that this next offensive coordinator that they find understands that too. But as a whole, that's pretty much all we got for you guys. I do want to announce really quick our trivia champion. I don't think we have a trivia question tonight, which is all good because I don't have the energy for one. I'm so tired after this season anyway. Yeah. And it wouldn't matter anyway because Ashley is our champion. So Ashley's now a 2-time champ. Tommy's a 1-time champ. And me, Josh, KJ, and Amir are going to still have to work on getting on the board, and the fans. So we will be back February 26th. Yeah, February 26th. 2 weeks from today. We're taking next week off. We're going to reset, get ready for season 8, which is crazy to think about. We've been doing this for 8 seasons for you guys. That's amazing. But we're just going to reset, do a couple things graphics-wise, marketing-wise, make sure we're putting forward the best product in the best way for you guys to consume Philly sports content. But I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure doing this for you guys this season. I know these two guys have helped me out a ton with what we do. I want to thank KJ and Jack as a whole for being a part of 302 Birds, what they do, showing up with energy, with pride, and just being passionate fans and giving other fans a chance to show their love. So, Super Bowl champions, Jack and KJ, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we're wrapping up season 7. We are hitting that high note with getting a Super Bowl victory. We're coming back strong. Season 8, we're going to have some kind of milestones we want to hit. I think, we haven't really talked about this, but we would like to get to around 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a goal that I will put out there. We want to get to, call it 20. Let's double what we have right now. 20K on Instagram, and we can double what we have on TikTok. And we need you guys for that help. So we really do appreciate you guys sticking with us all season long. And one thing I wanted to hit on is this. Philly the dog, welcome to Philadelphia. If I were you, it's going to be a little cold. I would pack layers, wear double, triple socks, wear sweatshirt, long sleeve shirt, and a heavy jacket, wear waterproof, waterproof boots because it may be still a little wet from the rain. And we said it early on in the show, make sure you pack snacks. You're kind of screwed wherever you end up. On the rail, you're pretty much stuck there unless you have to use the bathroom. You're gonna lose your spot no matter what. So just pack accordingly to it. Get a drawstring bag with snacks or whatever, and you'll be A-okay.
Yeah, just don't go to the art museum. I know it seems intriguing to go there, but I've heard from many people you might need to go get a pamper. What I'm meaning by that is go get a diaper. Because you're going to be there for a long time, And if you got to take a dookie or something like that, or you got to take a something, or like, I don't know. I'm not going to try and get too much detail. You're not going to be really able to do that because the portal potties are going to be
true.
I mean, they're going to be backed up. You're probably going to be waiting 3 hours. You'll lose your spot because people are aggressive. They'll be aggressive for sure to get certain spots. Like they're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll save a spot for you. That's not happening. So just know that. I mean, you gotta maybe know the person. Maybe it depends. If it's me and Dalt, and Jack, we'll probably save your spot for you. We will.
Yeah.
And
make sure you don't drink as much, but if you do, sip on some water because you're gonna be standing for quite some time. So make sure you have all that kind of stuff. But yeah, appreciate you sticking around with us, and glad that you enjoy our page. We're gonna give better and better content years to come or seasons to come. So we will see you February 26th. And yeah, I just want to say, bottom of my heart, we thank you here at 302 Birds for being a part of this dream that we've had for the past, 4 years.
Yeah, almost 5 now.
Yeah, 4 years. So I really do appreciate it. But I'll stop getting all sappy. Go Birds. And for season 7 finale, hey Josh!
Zep!
It's an outro, not an intro. Hit the season ending outro, bitch.
What we got? 302 Birds, Gino Stinks. We are Super Bowl champions once again!